Hey Floss Tube, Amy here. It is Tuesday, January 16th, and this is Floss Tube number 6. Last one was not numbered because I couldn't remember what number it was, but this is number 6. I have a little bit to report. First of all, y'all know I'm in Florida now, and just waiting on my hubby and the dogs to get here. I drove up to Jacksonville today to look at an apartment for the kids that they're probably going to move into, and I found Target up there, and I did find a cross-stitch store. I won't name it because I did not like it, and I will not be going back there, and I don't want to hurt their feelings, but there was just stuff everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You couldn't find anything, tripping over stuff. The lady who owns it is super grumpy. Makes me miss Paul and Carlton a whole lot. It just wasn't pleasant to be in there. I didn't like it. So I highly unlikely that I will be going back there. I do have one finish. Actually, this is 2 finishes because I did it once and I wasn't happy with it, so I restitched it. But this is just a little bitty. Itty bitty. It was a la-di-da freebie that was in our passport for the tour to stitch in October. And I have big plans for this. It'll be FFO'd next month and I'll show it to you. I don't want to tell you yet, but it's going to be really pretty. And this is sparkly. Sparkly. Could you see it was sparkly? Yeah. And this variegated floss is Weeks Dye Works Bethlehem, which I bought 2 skeins of because I like it that much. Oh, my Hade I've been working on. I'll show you her prettiness. Oh, isn't she cute? Okay, these smaller ones, they call them a quick stitch. I don't know who's stitching them quick. I sure as hell ain't me. I started this on 25 count because that's what it calls for. Candy gave me a bunch of it. It just wasn't working for me, and I don't know why, because I've stitched on 25 count before. I've stitched on 28 count before. I don't know if because it was really soft fabric, but it just wasn't doing it for me. So I switched to my beloved 16 count. And move my light out of the way. The bright orange is what I had stitched the first time around before I restarted, so I didn't have a whole lot done. And then what's red is what I've restitched. So as you can see, I've gotten pretty far in a short amount of time. The orange that's left is that winter white. Not my day of a good time, but you gotta do it right. My mania starts, that little one I just showed you, the la-di-da. That was my January start, which was real quick. So even doing it twice was really quick. So January is started and finished. I have a finish for this year. This one is going to be my February start. Isn't that awesome? And I bought the pattern and the fabric at the craft gallery before I left. So it's beautiful fabric. It's 16 count because that's my happy place. Now, this thing called for Karen Wildflowers, which I have no idea what that is. In this cross stitch store I found today, they had a whole bunch of Karen something else that was like real thick, heavy stuff, and he did have some wildflowers back in the closet. He went and dug them out for me. Of the 7 colors that this requires, he had 4. And I was going to buy them, but then I still had to convert the rest, and the texture of those is different, and I wasn't sure how that would work out and if I would like it or be aggravated or whatever. So he pulled those the 4 he had, and then I went to that other type because all their colors and all their stuff is the same, I guess, and found the other colors, and I just went to the Weeks and found what I liked. So like, I'm just dropping stuff everywhere. Don't mind me. Oh, and look at this giant chart. I really prefer it when they're a booklet. Sorry, this is the second London place I bought that's a big stinking piece of paper. I'd rather it be the booklet with the little gray, you know, at the side that this overlaps the next page, because these are ridiculous. But it's a pineapple, and it says blessings and grace be to this place. And it's gonna hang right by my front door. So the colors for this in Caram Wildflowers were burnt toast, jade, which the jade was beautiful. I almost bought it just to have it for something else, but I know I'd use it for, and it's not cheap, so I didn't. Celadon, is that how you say that? Celadon, Celadon, evergreen, copper, papaya, rye, and it's got jonquil listed here, but it says not applicable. So I don't know. Maybe that's for backstitch. I don't know. I'll worry about that if I have to. So the colors that I chose in the week, we have chickpea for, let's see, oh, chickpea for 233, which is the rye. So I have 3 of those chickpea, because there's a note on the rye that says it will take the entire skein, nearly every bit of the skein of 36 yards of rye will be needed. So I bought 3. Make sure I have enough. And if I have any left over by chance, I like this color, so it's okay. And then let's see, we got bramble bush. I just realized these labels are different, but bramble bush to use for 137, which is copper. And I'm telling you, I should have took a picture. Sorry, I'm dropping stuff. When I had these laid out, because this was like 99.9% match for that copper. Just like I said, that stuff had a texture that I wasn't really sure about, so I did not buy any of it. And then we're using emerald for, I had to write notes so that when I go to kit this, I know what the heck I'm doing. For jade, which the jade was really pretty too. This is not as pretty as the jade, but it's still a good color. And then we're using silver fern, which is a Gentle Art, not a Weeks, but Weeks didn't have anything close to this that I liked. So we're using silver fern for Celadon, blah, blah, whatever it is. And then we have the Gentle Arts Dragonfly, which, oh man, I'm in love with this. I only needed 1, but I bought 2 because I'm in love with it. And it is in place of burnt toast. And then we're using Green Pasture, which is another Gentle Art. Isn't that pretty? For 121. Evergreen. And that's just, you can see a difference if you put them together, but if you don't put the called for color by that, you're not going to know. And then we're using Mimosa, which is beautiful, in place of papaya. This is significantly different than papaya. Papaya has a good amount of pink in it, but this is the closest thing I could find that I liked. There was one that was actually a little bit closer, but it was more cool, I'd say, and I didn't like the way it looked with the greens I picked. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. A little Lizzie Kate that I'm getting ready to start. Oh, this fabric. I gotta tell you what I did here. This fabric, it's a little darker than what it shows up on there. But it was this fabric, and I dyed it with 2 green tea bags and 2 regular black tea bags. It came out with this beautiful beige kind of color with the sparkly. It makes me very happy. I'm going to do Lizzie Kate A Little Beach on it. And I think I'm going to keep this in my car, and when I stop at the beach, I'm going to stitch in it a little bit. Because I've been scoping out the beaches around here. Why not? And I've also been practicing painting and sketching and stuff. I did do a few this week that were much better, at least in my opinion, than this. But this one has a boat, a little ATC with the boat. Had a few people I had to send some stuff off to, so I painted them little paintings with the notes that I didn't forget. I just, in the midst of the holidays and the move and, you know, all that stuff that happens in your life, I just didn't get them out when I wanted to. And I'm working on painting, because we're going to send out We've Moved cards like in March, and I want my own painting to be on them. So I've been working on that. Lots of things that haven't gone very well because, you know, I have stroke brain, but I'm working on it. And when I get one I like, I'm going to send it into Vistaprint and have them do postcards and pay them the $20 to have them ship them, send them out. I think that's all I have for you today. Yep. Hubby is supposed to be leaving to head down here tomorrow. He was hoping to be in the morning, but looks like we found renters for our house, so he has to stay and get them signed and money and keys and all that situated, and go to the bank and go to the other bank and load the truck, which he didn't do tonight because it's below 0 and it's just too cold and he's tired. So keep him in your prayers for safe travels and an easy trip. I've enjoyed my time alone, believe you me, but I miss him. I'm ready for him to be here. You know, and he's driving that big old 16-footer with a car hauler on the back to haul his little pickup truck, and you know, I worry a little bit. So hopefully he will get going, you know, before dinner time tomorrow, which if he does, that'll put him here late Thursday night. And then we can sleep, unload the truck Friday morning, and then we have dinner plans with somebody actually from our hometown Friday night at downtown or Disney Springs. He is here for a youth pastors conference this week, and as luck would have it, we're here too. So we're gonna get together at Disney and have some dinner and, you know, hang out a little bit. That's all I have for you. No hat. I forgot to keep a couple of my Disney hats out when I packed because I'm smart like that. So when those get here, it'll be hat time again. Figment will be talking to you when I hold stuff up. Anyway, that's it. When I get my little beach started and some other stuff, when I have more to report, I will do another floss tube. Please leave me some comments and subscribe and, you know, stuff. Okay? Have a good night, and remember, be excellent to each other.